What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing what I believe is the final part of my Avengers Endgame custom minifigures. And for this video I have Thor, Nebula, Captain Marvel and Thanos. So all four of these are quite simplistic, to be honest, but they all turned out like quite cool, honestly. And I'm super glad to have them as custom minifigures. So without further ado, let's get a better look at all four of these. So starting off with Thor, this minifigure is basically like a revamped version of my Infinity War variant, and I actually have that minifigure somewhere. So here he is. I basically swapped out the hairpiece. So this hairpiece, this Stormbreaker, and this cape are all from this one that I had back then, and I don't really like how this one turned out. I mean, the face was okay, the torso is basically a copy of this one, so that's good, and I literally copied the exact same legs from here, but onto here, so that's cool. I've gold paint on my fingers, so ignore it. And yeah, the back has nothing on it, but don't really need to have anything on the back, really. Other than that, he's completely new. Like, the head is the Infinity War head, / the Endgame head, but I got it from Infinity War, so that's good. And I actually gave him the chainmail arms instead of what I'd done last time, and gave him just regular flesh arms. And excuse like the red paint on them, because I'm running out of these colour arms. And yeah, so the Stormbreaker is the exact same one from Infinity War, like I mentioned. And if you want to see a tutorial on this, I'd be glad to make one. So if you want to know how I made the Stormbreaker, then leave a tutorial in the description. Not description. Leave a tutorial in the comments, like ask for that in the comments, and I'll probably do it if I have enough comments saying to do so. But other than that, it's literally the same one from the previous Avengers movie, so that's good. And I really like the design, so I carried it over. And other than that, he has extended legs as well. Almost forgot to mention that. So I used the Lego Batman movie belt in between the legs, I think. Just got to figure this out quickly. Yep, so I have it here. I'm using this piece, like, to hold up his legs a bit further. So please cooperate. So he's taller than a regular minifigure, so you see that here. Yeah, he's kind of like the same, almost the same height. I don't really know. That does do quite a lot, that extending legs piece. That does do a lot to help the minifigure, because, you know, it makes them taller than the average minifigure, I guess. And in case my future self or anyone in this video is curious, there's a back, basically an Ant-Man it's a custom Ant-Man torso that was the base of this one. I just painted over that because it was terrible. But either way, that is it for my second ever Thor, I think. But I am happy with how he turned out. So next up, here is Captain Marvel, and other than the head, this is completely new, completely brand new minifigure, and I just want to say this is probably the best Captain Marvel minifigure I've ever made, mainly because of the torso, how that turned out, and the hairstyle. This hairpiece first up is like the regular hairpiece. You've probably seen this one. If you know the back of this hairpiece, then you've probably seen the front before. So yeah, I just used that and cut off the fronts kind of, and repainted it, and then painted the torso and painted the legs, and I think it turned out really good. So here's a quick comparison to my previous variant that I made for the movie. So for the previous version, I used this hairpiece, which is not really too accurate to like this version, and I used this torso and these legs and these arms and these hands, and so there's the back of that. That's basically the outfit that I made previously, but I'm super happy with how this turned out. I think this has to be one of the best minifigures I made this year, like, honestly, no joke. This actually turned out pretty good, especially the fingerless gloves. Like, this one, the one on the right in particular, looks just so seamless, you can't even tell it's painted, but it is. And her legs look really good, so basically, I love how this minifigure turned out. It's so awesome. And yeah, the head is basically the same head that Lego used and I used for my own Captain Marvel. So that's cool, like previously. And I even carried it over onto this variant, like, it's pretty obvious. And here's a look at the back. Nothing much to see, just a bit of detail on the back of the legs. But other than that, her arms are painted as well. And I think those arms look pretty good as well. But other than that, that's it for my first ever variation of Captain Marvel in this outfit. Oh, by the way, I know she gets a different hairstyle, but I'm not too big a fan of that. Because that hairstyle's a bit too bad. I'm not a big fan of it, but definitely cool to see her in Endgame, because, yeah. And although under details, I still like how Nebula turned out. So other than the legs and the back of the torso, and this arm, the rest is completely brand new. So the front of the torso, this arm, and the head are just new. So the head is from the first Guardians of the Galaxy sets, and the front of the torso is fully painted, and yes, it's under detailed, but you can kind of see all the details that's on it. And then there's the back, not much to see. It's basically the same one from my MCU 10 year anniversary thing, if you remember that video. And yeah, other than that, there's not much else to say about Nebula. She's literally that simplistic. And going into making Nebula, I was just not really expecting myself to do too much in this minifigure. But I'm still happy with the end result. It looks, you can tell it's Nebula. It's not hard. I mean, you look at the head and you know it's Nebula, and you see the robotic arm. But other than that, that's pretty much it for Nebula. I mean, this is as good as a Nebula I can make. So now let's get a better look at what I think is the best minifigure of these four. I think Thanos. And oh my god, here is Thanos, the big, grape guy, I guess. I mean, a lot of people have been referring to him as a grape. I can't believe that this guy turned out so great. I mean, I done a poll on Instagram, where I should make the scale suit or basically the scale suit or the armor Thanos first. Then a lot of people voted for me to do this first, but I still did do the scale suit. But this one was voted more on Instagram, so I went for it. And oh my god, it turned out amazing. The helmet and the torso armor and the bits on the arms are all sculpted, and that turned out great. And there's the back. This piece was also sculpted onto the back of his, his lower section, and also I sculpted around the glove area as well, and I sculpted this little bit in the middle too. And other than that, this could be the best. So I think this guy has to be the best big fig I've made all year, especially that face. The face getting the likeness to Josh Brolin, I think turned out pretty great. I mean, I don't really have too many complaints with the face. I think it does look pretty good. And so, yeah, a lot of people on Instagram seem to like it as well. So, other than that, I don't really have much else to add. I mean, the gauntlet has no stones in it. I'll probably paint some stones in after this video, if I remember. If he got any stones, I didn't really pay attention to if he got any. Probably not. And by the way, this part on the chest, this piece, this was sculpted as well. So that turned out pretty good. I mean, the fact that all this sculpt managed to stay together is so awesome. And then these two parts on the top of his head are also sculpted. But other than that, that's it for probably be my final Thanos, possibly ever. Actually, I'm kind of updating my Infinity War Thanos because of how bad it was last year. So that's an update that's happening. I mean, I might continue with it, not sure. But it depends how good it turns out, that I might end up doing it again. Other than that though, guys, that is it for Thanos in his armoured outfit. And by the way, here's a look at his legs. While simplistic, they get the job done. And let's go ahead and wrap this up. Alright guys, that is it for what will probably be my final Avengers Endgame showcase. and I've definitely enjoyed making the series. And yeah, all these characters are just done so well in the MCU. But before I address like the rest of like, you know, how the MCU's been doing so well, I just want to address if I'm making any other characters from the movie. And right now, this is a spoiler. Like the minifigure I'm about to show you is a spoiler from the movie. So if you haven't yet seen Avengers Endgame like I have, perhaps skip like a few seconds ahead. I'll try and go over this quickly, but here is a version of Thor from 5 years into the future. At the start of the film, basically, it's showing Thor like, you know, somewhat like this, and he had like yellow hair or something and a big belly. So I'm currently working on that. It's completely out of focus. So, okay, it's not going to focus, but I'm working on that. End of spoiler. And so, speaking of spoilers, not that I'm going to get into any more. For those of you that haven't seen the movie, anyone that leaves any spoilers down in the comments for those that haven't seen the movie will get their comment removed, I think. I mean, yeah, that's basically that in a nutshell. But I've seen the movie, so if you want to spoil it to me or something, I don't know what I'm talking about. You can just do what you want in the comments. I really don't know anymore. I just lose words in the outros of each video. But other than that, I think the MCU has been so great up to this point. Ever since the first Iron Man movie leading up to this, it's just been incredible. Like the entire MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, what they managed to do, and Kevin Feige. So, other than that, I will catch you guys in my next video, and as usual, I have no idea what it will be. We will find out. But until next time, peace out.